Hi everyone, Nicole Clark, Family Wellness Coordinator for Shabukta Family Center. I wanted to create this video for you today to teach you a very simple yet effective stress reduction technique. This technique is called Cortices, and it addresses your whole brain health, all of your brain on all levels. And there is the belief that all stress begins in the mind. And whatever is happening in the mind, it's reflective of in the body. So there is a strong interrelationship between those two. And this technique is designed to balance all of that. Before I begin to show you and demonstrate the technique, there's just a few things that I want to highlight to help support you once we get going. The first thing is to indicate about our breath. This technique invites you to take nice big inhales and nice big exhales. The reason why is our breath is like our scanning tool for our body to send messages to our brain with respect to what could use some nurturing and balancing. So when we, when we inhale, it's like taking in life, and when we exhale, it's like letting go. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is in this technique, we do what's called tapping. And we tap on the head complex, the heart complex, and you can't see, but the navel complex or the gut, which is basically your belly button. The reason why we tap on those three centers is to have them all aligned and communicating with one another, because each one serves a very unique purpose. The reason why we tap on the head complex, when we do so, we want to have a nice wide hand so we get the left and right hemisphere to get them to communicate with one another. This is the way of waking up the brain, disrupting its usual loop pattern, and to receive the message that new changes are coming and to allow for the brain to make those changes. The reason why we tap on the heart complex is that the heart is actually a very intuitive organ, and the heart is what will store or save the new changes, the memory of that as wisdom. So again, if the brain is the computer, then the heart is the save button. Next and finally, we will tap on the navel, the gut brain, the gut complex. And the reason why we do that is that it is actually the way that we let go of emotional and mental energy. It's how we digest the changes and how we choose to what we can and are able and ready to let go of. And when we tap, so when we landmark the head complex, wide hand, but when we landmark the brain, we want to make sure that your fingers are sealed so that we cover each part of the brain. If you're not physically able to do that, that's okay. You don't need to actually do it. If you're not able to, you can just imagine it. The mind can't tell the difference between what's really happening and what's not. It's just that powerful. So let's begin. So we begin at the occiput. I'm not sure if you were able to catch a glimpse of that. The occiput, actually our first hand position with sealed fingers, is right where the neck meets the head. And now we begin to tap for 2 cycles of breath for each hand position. So nice big inhale and exhale. Breathe in and breathe out on your navel tap. Really good. Now our next hand position, not sure if you can see, but we're just climbing up. So your thumb will now meet where your pinky finger leaves off. And we will tap. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale. Exhale on the navel. And I just want to make mention, here you could probably see a little bit better now. I just want to make mention that we all breathe very differently. So my cycle and my rhythm very well may not match yours, and that's okay. Exhale on the navel. And then we landmark. I feel a yawn coming. Exhale on the navel. It's not an unusual response. It's usually indicative of a healing response, and it's okay if you don't get that. This technique is still effective, and it shows in many different ways for many people. So the last hand position will, if you research this technique, will cue you to stop at just above the brows. But as you can see, I overlap. Our hands and our heads are different sizes, so it could look differently for all of you. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out on your navel. Really good. So once we've landmarked from the back to the top, either right above or below the brow, the final hand position to landmark is our temporal lobe. And this is actually indicative of our limbic brain, which is known as our emotional center. So lately, I have been supporting myself by maybe taking a couple of more breaths with this hand position, which you can do for any one of them. So you can take one hand off and keep one hand on. And again, signaling the brain with a nice big inhale that changes are coming and being made. Exhale in the heart complex to store those changes. Getting the head and the heart to collaborate. And then sending them down to through our diaphragm into our intestines to let go of the mental and emotional energy. And I like to switch. You don't have to, but I like to. And that's the Cortices Technique. Again, a very simple and effective tool to support your body-mind to be balanced out of fear, stress, and shock. If you have any questions about this technique, and let it be natural. It's kind of like learning to ride a bike or drive a car. In the beginning, we're trying to figure out all of the moving parts. The more you give yourself permission to lean into it, it will feel more natural. And as I was saying, if you have any questions about this technique, you can email me at Nicole, Nicole, at hgahfx.ca. I'm available Monday to Friday, 9 to 4 via email. Thank you so much, everyone, for trying something new. Be well and take care.